Okie dokie. This is the 41st live stream for Rank War Master. We've been taking different breaks to try to get as much done as possible. Along that line, we have some graphical improvements to show you, mostly quality of life kind of things. We've been trying to get things out to the media and such. So that's mostly what we're kind of going to be trying to do today. So it's going to be somewhat of a short run at it. I'll do this so people can understand a little bit more what's going on here. And some other little minor updates just for ha-has. I didn't realize that would cause a recompile. I'll have to change that. So once it's done compiling. So the main things today are showing off the new lighting mechanisms that we're intended to put in, and things you wouldn't think of, like patch notes and credits and things of that nature. Things that actually make a game more than just simply something compiled on your own. And there we go. It's really coming up. Oh, you're probably hearing this over the stream. This is the brand new song from Chris Kaminsky. I believe it's referred to as Pale Red Dot. And with the pre-release that is now available, this actually is available with it, believe it or not. And so here is our pop-up patch notes within the game at this point. This is for the media release that we've been giving out to the press and to influencers and such.
Audio is good, by the way, and the song does come through.
Excellent.
And yes, definitely Pale Red Dot. It's really good, and it is. It was amongst the Steam files.
Yep. So you can either read it at normal pace, or you can kind of grab it with your mouse and go through it. So this shows the latest patch notes. I haven't decided how far back I'm going to keep the patch notes. Maybe 2, possibly 3. We'll have a discussion about that. How many is appropriate. And so this is here. So you have a close and don't show again, or just close or whatever. And we actually have, scarily enough, credits. Yes, this is us, believe it or not. And so the other voice you heard is Jordan. That's him right there. I know Adam's on here somewhere, whether he'll speak up or not.
Hello.
That is an Adam. So Matt's still doing the tutorials, I believe. And so Jordan is the big guy behind all the writing behind the game, which you play the tutorials, you play the main campaigns. He's the one responsible for all that. So
I wrote that patch wall the bit. I wrote these credits. If you're on our Discord, a lot of those announcements are me. Yes, that guy with my name, that's actually me.
There you go. As I mentioned, Chris did the music, and there he is. And there's Adam again. He's our main QA guy. So, in any case, let's get into the main game. Should I turn on the music or just leave it as is?
I'll check.
Alright, server's up, by the way. I guess bot with no enemy, just sort of display things.
I think the music's at a good level to not be intrusive.
Fair enough. Alright, I'll come in with the beam ship, because why not? Master. Adam, you joining us or staying out this one?
Yep, I'm loading up now.
Alright. And you got the internal release. I did update the playtest release on Steam, because I noticed I hadn't been updated in a while. I didn't know who and what people were using. So yeah. Alright, looks like everybody's ready but me. There we go. Alright.
Let's go to the building. Slowly get it there.
Let's do it good. Okay. So, we actually had a bug very recently about a client not being able to build. So Jordan, could you actually check that? I tested this morning. It should be okay, but
I
you know
just
how
told
this
it to
goes.
build.
Well, going down there is not the problem. It's getting there, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I remember.
You know. So there goes the builder bot, and there he goes. Yay. You know. So I'll catch up with him. And we'll see what this actually does. See how close I am to the ground. Well, I'm hitting the ground, so I gotta be somewhat close. There's a ground. There's a ground, Monty. Woot!
Oh, there you go.
He's actually building. Oh, by the way, he shouldn't... You know how the builder bots were sort of skidding over where they were building before? Yeah, that's been fixed. Because literally why it was failing was it was right on the edge, and for whatever reason, when the client did it, the number was slightly off. So, if you could build another building, and let's make sure this is working the way it's supposed to be working. So, a couple things that you may or may not have noticed. Let me turn off the HUD, just for ha-has. Yes, we can do that now. Yes, we have a very complaining Ares. So, what we have here is a reactor, and while it's active, you see this green light going in a circle around it as a pulse, and it also has searchlights around it. What we also now have is a research center with its own series of floodlights, and he has his own animation as far as the what he does when he's researching. So you see these blue lights coming out, and I thought it was kind of interesting to set it up in such a way that when the lights get to the actual
Task complete.
when it gets to the actual dish, the dishes glow. But you can see they're slightly out of sync, which is kind of on purpose, so that they do actually matter. So I just thought that was kind of neat and interesting. Also, the lights between the different... You can actually hear him building. Or not, he finished it before I got there. The lights between the...
Complete.
Yeah, excuse me. The lights between the buildings are no longer just a solid pulse line. There is these little light pulses that you can see going between the different buildings, as the reactor basically is giving energy to everything else. Interestingly
That's what
enough.
those light pulses were supposed to represent.
That is part of the same city. You hear the builder bot building there. I really got to turn that up because you kind of want to hear it, I guess.
Task complete.
So let me pull back here. So
Research complete.
So Jordan's... So obviously it works, or else we would not be able to see anything. But it gives you an idea that, okay, we're in the middle of a valley on the North Pole. And this does actually finally work on the equator, which probably should show at some point. So you should be able to build all these things. And there goes Adam running around down there. So it's interesting enough to be on the far side of a mountain and then pop over and then see this very busy city doing its thing. So let me do exactly that. I'm going to hide behind this mountain over here. Actually, this works right well right here. I can't see anything because I'm pretty much in the valley. So you don't see a city, but you sort of pop up over it, and it's hiding in the valley. Very spacey. Ooh. So you see all the stuff going on. So we're actually adding more lights and searchlights and everything else to the different buildings. They haven't been decided on the other buildings yet. Adam or Jordan, could you move your ship into one of the searchlights so we can see you sort of get called out by the searchlight?
Just a moment.
I think Adam's on his way down there. So go down a little bit there, Adam, just so we can pick you up. That's you. Oh, stay there. So it is catching you.
Research complete.
There you go. So, more life means more human kind of thing, So the only last thing we really wanted to show as far as other updates go is the quick designer. So
Research complete.
head back up. And so we go into quick designer. One of the big things, as we mentioned from previous live streams, was the addition of capacitors to the design of your ships. So now if we hit defaults, we can go into where it says power. And, oh, you actually got engine capacitors already?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you did. So, well, I was going to show without it, but in any case, even without the capacitor, you can adjust this to 100%. So if I hit
complete.
The different defaults, you can see how the reactor power changes there.
Task complete.
Whether or not you added a capacitor or not. It used to be that you had to have a capacitor to do anything with that. But now that's changed. And I forgot to remove that window. But now we're going to add a capacitor. And again, we can hit defaults. And it defaults to 80%, so it's actually using them. And there you go. Although it needs a little bit more testing, I think. Bring up the wrong one. I'm bringing up the main capacitor, which is supposed to be hidden. Yay! But
You have weapon capacitors now.
yes, I noticed. That's why I can actually hit the button now. So that was a small update. I did this literally half hour ago, as you can tell. Most of the updates have been the ability to go to the side of Mars. And while that sounds like, okay, what's so special about that? Everybody gets taught in high school that up is Y and that that's up. It doesn't work that way when you're running around on a sphere.
It boils down to, it's hard to explain to a computer what exactly does up is relative mean.
Something like that. And so while all this stuff works great, yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, that looks like a city doing something.
It looks very active, which is one of the things that I had requested for some of the stuff we visually wanted to show. Which
Yeah.
That's most we can say about that right now. But be patient.
It's coming. It's definitely coming.
But yeah, it just, even with only a few ships here, this looks just busy, but like in a good way. Like that, you can tell this is active. We kind of would like this is to have things that give the impression of like ships moving around without there actually being ships. But that's things we talk about.
Right. But definitely shows that this city's doing something. But we didn't want to make this into too long of a video, but we wanted to show that we are making other progress updates, and we wanted to show you some of the bigger ones. The other stuff isn't as dramatic, like credits and post-it notes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But we do have things like tutorial updates. And that's the other thing. Believe it or not, we're talking to some YouTube influencers and Twitch influencers, and other people might be going through the tutorials and other stuff like that on their streams.
Complete.
Yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for more Rank 4 Master content that isn't coming directly from us.
Exactly. And more than likely, you'll probably see it from them long before you see it from us. So, all right. That's mostly it. Adam, did you want to add anything?
Nope, nothing new to add right now.
Okay. Jordan?
No, we've covered it. Honestly, it doesn't sound like a lot when you say it, but when you look at it, and if you've seen any of our previous videos, it looks, a lot different.
Definitely true.
And honestly, the little circles going to it looks a lot better than just the fade and out lines. Like this looks nice.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully everybody else enjoys it too. And by all means, give us feedback. That's what we want. Join our Discord server, and we'd love to hear from you, and love to hear your opinions and what we can do to make this better. Obviously, we're still in process with other things, but yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Have a nice day, all.
Have a nice day. That was the wrong button.